It's Crystal, and today I'm going to show you how to make this little bag here. It's made with the V-stitch and some single crochet, a couple little pom-poms on it. It was really easy. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out all my other tutorials. I have a whole bunch of them, a whole bunch of bags and purses. Alright, let's go ahead and get started on this. Okay, for this project I am using a size H. It is a 5mm crochet needle. And I'm using 4-ply yarn. I'm using Caron, Simply Soft. Okay. First thing you want to do is you want to start with a chain of 30. And I'm not going to do the full 30 because I started this previously a little bit ago and I didn't film it, so I'm coming back to it. But start with a chain of 30. I'm just going to do a little small swatch here. Then you want to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and we don't count this one. So 1, 2, single crochet in that one, and then single crochet in each of the stitches across. Just like this, all the way to the end of your chain. And then when you get to the end, we're just going to turn it like this and work along this side now. So it's like this. So now I'm just going to flip it right over. And we're going to single crochet on the top of all these stitches. So just go back into the stitch that you just went into. This one, we're going to flip it and we'll go right back into it. And do a single crochet. And then we'll single crochet again in each of the stitches across. Oh, just like this. One in each stitch. Sorry, my house is loud. My kids are out there playing, and this TV's loud for some reason behind me. Okay, and then when you get to the end, you want to slip stitch in your first single crochet. And remember, you're doing a longer piece. Mine's not going to be the right size here. Now we're going to work with what's called the V-stitch. If you're not familiar with it, I'll show you how to do it real quick. It's a really easy stitch. You want to start with a chain of 4. And that chain of 4 counts as a double crochet with a chain 1. So now you want to yarn over and do a double crochet right back into that same stitch. Just like that. And then you want to go to the next stitch and do a double crochet. And then you want to chain 1 and go right back into that same stitch with another double crochet. And see, it makes the V shape if you can see it. And then you got that chain 1 space in the middle. And then you want to go over here to the next stitch and do a double crochet. Chain 1, go back into the same stitch and do another double. Next stitch, double, chain 1, and another double back in that same stitch. Next stitch, double, chain 1, and then another double back in the same stitch. The next stitch is a double with a chain 1 and then another double. The next stitch is a double, chain 1 and another double. And that's what it's going to be the whole way around your project. If you look at it, you can see the little V's in it. And we're going to do a V-stitch in every stitch around. So each stitch is going to get a double, a chain 1, and then another double. Go to the next one, a double, a chain 1, and another double. So go ahead and do that, one V-stitch in every stitch all the way back to the beginning. Make it back around to the beginning, and it's going to be all curvy and weird looking for a little while, but that's what it's supposed to be like. Okay, once you make it back around to that chain 4 that you did in the beginning, this is what you're going to do from now on every round. It's going to be the same. Count up to the 3rd chain on it, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Okay, and that'll close that round off. So right here where you did the chain 4 and then the double crochet back in the same stitch is a V-stitch, so you want to slip stitch into the middle of it like that, and then start again with a chain 4 and then a double crochet right back in the middle of this V-stitch. And that's how you start every row. You slip stitch back into the middle of that V-stitch and just start right there again. And then we'll just go and we will do V-stitch on top of every V-stitch. So we're going to double crochet, right here in the middle of this V-stitch, chain 1, double crochet, find the next V-stitch, not there, but it's right here where that chain 1 is, and do a V-stitch. So we just double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, find the next one, and it's not right here, it's right here where the chain 1 is. Double, chain 1, and another double. And we just want to keep doing that all the way around. One V-stitch on top of every V-stitch all the way around. Go to the next one. Oh. So that's what it's starting to look like. It's just a V-stitch. They just line up. And you just do this all the way around. And then that's just what we're going to do for the rest of the bag until we get ready to put the brim on. Do that all the way around, one V-stitch on top of every V-stitch. And then when you get back to here, we'll do just like we did. Slip stitch into the 3rd space. And then slip stitch in this whole V-stitch. Chain 4 again. And start the V-stitch again. Truly easy. And remember, yours is going to be a lot bigger than mine. This is just a little piece. I think I'm probably going to do about 6 or 7 rows of the V-stitches. But I'll let you know for sure when I get done with mine. I hope it's not too confusing, the V-stitch here. You just continue around with it. There's a V-stitch. The V-stitch has the chain 1 in between. And you just go right back into that. and do another one. All the way back around to your beginning. And then you just repeat this row. Next one. So, just like that. And you can see the V-stitches starting to line up. You'll be able to see it more when the bag gets a little bit bigger. But that's what we got so far. So, like I said, it'll probably be 6 or 7 rows. But I'll let you know here in just a minute how many I do. Okay, I finished. I did 7 rows of the V-stitches. If you want it to be bigger, you could do a few more rows. Now I'm going to do some V-stitch decreases to try. This is going to make the bag come up. So you want to go into your first V-stitch and do a regular V-stitch like before. 4, and then we want to do 5 just regular V-stitches in a row. So this is our first one, and come over and do our second one. And then third one. Fourth one. And then number 5. Now in the next one we're going to do a decrease. And this is how we do the decrease. So we got 5 in a row. 3, 4, 5. We're going to take these 2 decreases, or V-stitches, and make them into 1. So we're going to come and do a double crochet in the next V-stitch. And then we're going to do the chain 1. And instead of going back into the same one, we're going to jump over here and do a double crochet. Like that. So that kind of just turned these 2 into 1. Now we want to do 5 more regular V-stitches in a row, starting with this one over here. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. And then we want to do a decrease. And we're going to be using these 2 V-stitches. So we want to go over to this one and do a double crochet with the chain 1. And then jump over to this one and just do a double crochet. Like that. And then we want to do 5 more in a row. Jump over to this one. One. 2. 3. 4. 5. And then a decrease. So double crochet in this one. Chain 1. And then 1 double crochet in this one. And then jump out over to here and do 5 regular V-stitches in a row again, and then the decrease. So just repeat that pattern of 5 regular in a row and then a decrease all the way back to the beginning, and you can tell it's kind of already starting to make it come up a little bit. So just repeat that back to the beginning. Around here to the end, and I have 3 left, and then I'm gonna then 2 right here, which I'm gonna do a decrease over, so there's not gonna be 5 in between them. And if yours is different, that's fine. If you had enough to make it perfectly come out with 5 in between them, that's okay. If not, just finish it out to make where you end in a decrease. And then slip stitch. Okay. Now you want to start again. Chain 4. Oh. Slip stitch over here. Forgot that. Into this V like normal. Then chain 4. This time around we're just going to do 1 V stitch in every V stitch. Oops. So no decreasing this round. And here's where we decreased last round. You can see, just do it like it's a regular decrease. Just decrease right in the top, or do it like it's a regular V-stitch, that decrease. Just put a V-stitch right on top of it. And then continue with 1 V-stitch in every stitch. So that's our decrease stitch right here, and we just put 1 on top. And we're just going to do 1 V-stitch all the way around until you get back to the beginning. And then we'll probably do another row of decreases. So just go ahead and 1 in every stitch all the way back to the beginning. Back around, and this time around I want to do 4 V-stitches in a row and then a V-stitch decrease. So I got my first one. That's 2. 3. 4, and then I'm going to decrease, go into the next one and do a double crochet with the chain 1, and then 1 double crochet into the next, like that. And then I'm going to go over here, start again, doing 4 in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to decrease, go into the next one and do a double crochet with the chain 1, and then jump over to the next one and do 1 double crochet. And then we'll start again over here at the next one, doing 4 in a row. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way back to your starting point. Okay, I'm coming back around, and I just finished out after I did my last decrease. I just finished out with whatever I had left and just regular decreases. I didn't end in a decrease, so like I had 4 left and I just finished it out, just 4 single ones. So whatever you have left, just finish it out. You don't have to end in a decrease this time. Okay, slip stitch it into my beginning and then slip stitch it into the V like normal and chain in 4. And then doing a V-stitch in the first one. Okay, now I want to do a V-stitch in every stitch around again. Just 1 in each stitch. No decreases this round. So, just 1 in every stitch. Just like that, all the way back to your starting point. Just with that last row of decreases. Now I'm going to slip stitch in here like normal in the 3rd stitch. Okay, I'm not going to do any more V-stitches. Now I'm going to do 1 single crochet all the way across here. So after I do my slip stitch, I want to chain 1. And then I'm going to go back into the same stitch right here, my chain stitch, and do a single crochet. And then I'm going to do 1 in between the V-stitch. And then 1 on top of this one. 1 on top of this one. And then 1 in between the V-stitch. And then 1 on top of this one. 1 on top of this one, and then in between the V-stitch, 1 here. So I'm just doing 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and then I'm doing, just when there's a V-stitch where we put that chain 1, I'm just going right in there and doing a single crochet in that spot too. And then 1 on top of each of the other double crochets. And here's a V-stitch, so I'm just going right in it and doing single crochet. Right through the middle of my V-stitch. And that's all there is to this. So just continue that around. 1 in every stitch. All the way back to your starting point here. Around, after that row of single crochet. And then I just want to slip stitch into the first single crochet I did. Like that. And then I want to chain 1, go back into the same single crochet and single crochet again. Now I'm going to do single crochet decreases. I'm going to do 3 regular single crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do, then I'm going to do 1 single crochet decrease. So this is my first one. Single crochet in the next, that's 2, and the next, that's 3. Now I want to do a decrease over these 2 stitches. So I'm going to go into it, grab my yarn, pull up on it, and I'm going to go into the next one. Grab my yarn, and I'm going to go through all 3 loops on my hook. That took those 2 stitches and to decrease them into 1. Now I want to do 3 regular single crochets in a row. 2, 3, and then I want to do a decrease. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, grab my yarn, pull it up, go directly into the next one, grab my yarn, pull it up, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and go through all 3. And then 3 single crochets in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease over these 2. So go into the next one, grab my yarn, drop a loop, go directly into the next one, grab my yarn, drop a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and go through all 3. And then repeat 3 singles in a row, and then a single crochet decrease, like that, 3 in a row, and then the decrease. Just like that. So go ahead and repeat that pattern back to your starting point. I'm coming to the end of this row of decreases, and just whatever you have left after you do your last decrease, finish it out with single crochets. Okay, and I want to slip stitch. Actually, I'm going to switch colors here. If you don't want to switch, you don't have to. And instead of slip stitching, I'm going to work in a continual round now for a little bit. So I'm going to use the stitch marker to mark my spot. And I'm just going to put it right here, a piece of yarn. And I'm just going to reach over and just single crochet into the first single crochet. But I'm going to switch colors here, so if you want to do that, I'll show you how. Just go into the single crochet like you're going to do a single crochet. Pull it through like that. And instead of pulling this one through, get your new color, yarn over, and go through with your new color. And then I'll put a little knot back here, and then I'll sew in my tails later. Okay. And then I have this stitch marker here, so I know that's my starting point, since I'm just going to be going around with single crochets, and I'm not going to be stopping and slip stitching at the beginning anymore. So this time around, I'm going to do 1 single crochet in every single crochet around, just like this. Just 1 in each stitch, all the way back to the beginning till we get to here. Around to the end here, and I'm at my slip stitch, so I just want to take it and move it up so I know where my beginning's at all the time, and reach over and slip stitch into the slip stitch. And that this time we're going to do a row of decreases. I'm going to do 2 single crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do a decrease, so that counts as my first one. Here's 2. Now I'm going to do a decrease in the next. That. And then 2 in a row. And then a decrease. And 2 in a row. Decrease, just like that. So go ahead and repeat that pattern back to your stitch marker. Made it back around to my stitch marker. So I'm going to pull it up and move it. I'm going to switch colors again here. All tangled up. Okay. And I'm going to put a little knot in it in the back here. And this time around, I'm going to do, oh, sorry, 1 single crochet in each stitch around this time. Just 1 in each stitch. Like this. All the way back to the beginning. Coming back up to my stitch marker, and I'm going to move it again, move it up, and then I want to continue around. This time I'm going to do 1 single crochet, then 1 single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet, and then 1 single crochet decrease. So that counts as my first one. So my next one is going to be a single crochet decrease, like that. My next one will be 1 single crochet, and then decrease, and then on the single, decrease, single, decrease, single, decrease. So just repeat that pattern all the way back to your stitch marker. Okay, I made it back around again, and I'm going to switch colors one more time here. My stitch marker. Get this tied on here. Okay, and now I want to continue around, and I'm going to do 2 rows of just 1 single crochet in every stitch around. No more decreases. Just 1 in each stitch, and I'm going to do that 2 times. So I'm going to go around like this, 1 single crochet in each stitch, and when I get to my stitch marker, I'm going to move it up and then go around one more time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that, and then I'll meet you back up here at the beginning. To the end of this last row of single crochet that I'm going to do, and since we're working in a continual round like this, it's going to be a little off here because it's kind of spiraling. So to even that out, once you get to your stitch marker and you do your last single crochet, I always do a slip stitch into the next stitch, and then a slip stitch into the next, and it evens it out a little bit just to make it look a little bit better. But then you can tie off and hide your tail. I'll go back and hide these later. I'm not going to make you watch me do it. I'm probably already boring enough as it is. Just weave your tail back here a few times like you normally would. Okay, I think it's looking really good. Now I'm going to put a handle on it. Okay. I'm going to just kind of eyeball it to guess about the equal lengths on each side. I'm going to get 4 stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to get it how I want it. And then I'm going to make my handle excuse me, 4 stitches across. So I want to find 4 stitches on this side. I'm going to use this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them. And then on this side I'm going to do the same. And you want to try to get it as even as possible. Use 4 stitches. Go ahead and mark these 4 stitches. Oops. Drop my stitch marker. 4. And to make it even, if you're going to be selling this, I would definitely try to get it. You need to count and make sure you have the same amount of stitches here as you do here, just to make sure it's even. Because if you're selling it, you want it to be nice and even. I'm not going to sell mine, so I think I eyeballed it pretty good. I guess I can count mine too. Yep, mine's pretty close. Okay. You want to get your handle that you're using, the color, and we'll start with the slip knot on our hook. And start at one side, it don't matter what side. And go into the first stitch that has the stitch marker. And you can move it because we don't need it anymore. And go ahead and pull through that slip knot on your hook with a slip stitch. And then pull it to make it tighter. Okay, chain 1. And we'll go back into that same stitch with a single crochet. And then 1 in each of the stitches across. 2. 1 right here, and then 1 with the stitch marker. Just like that. Move that out. Chain 1. Turn your work, go back right into this same stitch, single crochet, 1 in each stitch across, oh, chain 1 and turn, right back in the same stitch, and then 1 in each stitch across. And that's what we're going to do for the length that you want your handle. However long you want your handle, you just keep doing rows of single crochet, and it's going to reach over here and we'll attach it over here. And I'll let you know how many rows I do in just a second. Okay, I got my handle done, and you can do it as long or as short as you want, but I did 60 rows, but it's up to you. Now I'm just going to take it and make sure it's not twisted. I cut my tail long, and I'm just going to use my excuse me, my yarn needle just to sew it on over here on these 4 stitches. So just kind of neatly sew it the best you can. Just like this. And you see how I went through all 4 of these stitches. Move that. Okay. Oh. You sew it on until you feel like it's tight enough. And then when you're done, just hide your tail like you normally would. Still got tails to hide. Okay, and you can be done if you want. I think I'm gonna put a couple little pom-poms here. Pom-pom, I'm just gonna wrap it around my fingers a whole bunch of times. The more you wrap it, the thicker and prettier your pom-pom will be. So I'm gonna do it really thick. I'm going to keep going more than that. I'm not counting, I'm just doing it until it's really thick on my fingers. Okay. And then just side it off like that. Flip your yarn. And then get another long piece, and then flip it sideways like that. And then, like, here's your opening. Tie it like this in the middle. Pretty tight if you can get it. And then you want to take some sharp scissors if you have any, and just slice the loops open on it, on both sides. That. Flip it over. Trying to leave your long strings, if you can, to tie it onto the bag with. But if you accidentally cut them, it's okay. Just add some new ones. Okay, and you take it, shake it, make it a mess, and that's what it looks like so far. Basically, they just take a lot of shaping. And you just shape it, it does take a little while to get them. Just cut around like this. Just keep doing that. Shaping it like this until eventually you end up with one that looks like that. And it does take a little while, but I just keep trimming it down until I get it round and how I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one up. And I want to put two on here. This one, and then I'll finish this one. Finished both of my pom-poms, and I just wrapped them around up here and just tied them around the handle with a little knot. Just like that. Made one a little bit longer than the other, and that's it. That's all the rest of this bag. I think it turned out quite well. I like it a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other tutorials. I got a lot of bag tutorials, and you come like me on Facebook and post any of your crochet items on there. I like to see them, so would everybody else. And until next time, have a good day.